says,
it's that one that's going to be the screen share.
hold on just a minute. This says mute mic. Good morning and welcome to the NetDispatcher webinar on reporting tools for your field service company. My name is Kimo Turner with NetDispatcher, and we'll be talking today about specifically reporting and the value that it can have for you. Now, we all know there's some challenges when it comes to running a business, staying on top of our numbers, knowing what's going on, and actually being able to take action on the things that are important in the business that day. If we look at the challenge, too much work, not enough resources, I can't even find my numbers, much less focus on them. And if you think this slide looks bad, you should see my desk when I'm running reports. Does that sound familiar? Life is hectic and the business is hectic. And so what we need in our business is a methodical way of gathering the data that's part of the process, and then the ability to report on that data without a lot of jumping through hoops and challenges that are associated with making that happen. If we talk about the solution then, there's a few things that go into that solution. One is leveraging the ideas and the technology from experts. And the experts in this world are you in HVAC and landscaping and other field service businesses. And it's the experiences that you have. You know how to deal with your customers, and you know what you need to run your business. So you're a key part of designing solutions that are going to work. Then there's thousands of other businesses like you that are in field service type businesses. And we have participation and interaction with those customers and those businesses. And then NetDispatcher as an expert also. So we help you build focused KPI reporting, and KPI is key performance indicators. So you can spend your time improving your numbers, not just trying to figure out what they are. Again, we spend so much of our work effort making things happen, and this is one thing that we can do that doesn't have to be difficult once it's set up and running. And then we really can focus. If you think about levers in your business, if you think about the things that will change the outcome of your business, that's what you want to be able to identify for a key performance indicator, and then be able to make changes and then see what your measurement is, see what your numbers are, and then make another change and see what the impact is. And that's what this will allow us to do. If you remember nothing else about this webinar, remember this: great reporting will change your life. If you think about, again, the stress that you have as a business owner, as a key player in a business, these are things that if you can take that stress off and get to the things that will impact your business, it will change both your business and your life. The other thing I'd like to throw in here as we're talking about this is the broader scope. What we're going to do is we're going to help you design clean business processes. We're going to build the system on template-based forms, which gives you flexibility, lets you call fields what you are used to calling them, lets you have the look and feel that you're used to. You're not forced into a single template and told that that's going to work for everybody. It gives you a lot of flexibility to build what you need. There's great desktop and mobile accessibility built into this. And then our experience through the businesses like yourselves, our experience with the key performance indicator reporting. As we think about things, dashboard is appropriately named if you think about your car and the dashboard that you have on your car. I bought a Prius back in 1995, I think it was, so a long time ago. And one of the things about that car was it changed my life with the reporting that was on the screen. I was a very aggressive driver, and my wife would tell you that in a heartbeat. But after buying that car, I bought that car for one reason. I wanted to get 50 miles to the gallon. And that dashboard had the graphs and the numerical representations and so on that gave me the information I needed in order to drive in a way that would give me the result of 50 miles to the gallon. Now, it's not the only way you could drive the car. You could drive it aggressively, like I always drove. But literally overnight, it changed my driving behavior. It took me from being extremely aggressive to driving very conservatively. I started out slow, and I took my foot off the gas long before the stop sign. And that's what measurement is all about, is having the data that you need, having the graphic representations that help you easily recognize what's going on in the business and what you need to do in order to change your numbers and make them better. On the dashboard, then you'll see multiple views of your data in a single screen. And the thought there, if you think about, let's take a typical graph that you might use in Excel, and you can see a single line or bar charts or whatever that give you a dimension on the data that you're looking at. In a dashboard, one of the things that you can do is you get a view that's much more like a Rubik's Cube. Rubik's Cube, you can line up all the colors the right way on one side, but when you turn it around, you've really messed up the other side. So the opportunity here is to make sure that you're putting the information, the ad hoc reports, the reporting that you need, put it together on a dashboard so that at a single place you can go in, you can hit the button and look at that, and you can see really what's going on in your business, and you're seeing it from the different perspectives. So you're not getting really good on the conversions and really bad on the profitability. You want to be able to see all the aspects of the business at the same time. It's really easy in a setting like this to reuse existing ad hoc reports or create brand new views. If we look over here, one of the things that we've done in this business is we've taken some enterprise class tools, and we've brought those together and woven those into our business and our tools. So in this case, you see we're using JasperSoft, and a lot of the training links take you to the JasperSoft training. And you can see there that this is just a good example of how you can take the different ad hoc reports that have value to you individually, put them together in a single place. They don't all have to be the same kind of chart at all. They can be whatever's meaningful to you and give you that view that you need. Let's talk briefly about ad hoc reports. And when we've run through some of these descriptions, we'll then go over and take a few examples from current customers and reports that they're using, just to give you an idea of how it's being applied. With ad hoc reports, you're looking at multiple levels of data. So you can have crosstabs, tables, charts, and it's not just a simple kind of flat view of it, but it's being able to take it and look at it different ways. One of the things there with the interactive reporting that you have with ad hoc is you might be looking at something like what are your sales and where are they falling, who are your customers, some of that kind of information. But then you might also want to tie in which salesperson is it, and what are their success levels as it comes to conversions and so on. And then you might say, well, does it matter what time of year it is, and what are we seeing as it relates to different time periods? So it's reporting that makes it easy to see what you have and then to really explore the what ifs and figure out if there's other things you should be paying attention to or planning for the future. Custom reports. Custom reports are things like pie charts, and it used to be pie charts were pretty tough to do. Getting the nice smooth curves and instead of the jagged lines, and the correct sizing of the various segments and so on. And that's become a much more pixel perfect representation of things now. There's animated reports where you can have movement that's occurring as data changes, and even color changes as it reports to those data points. So it's a much more dynamic type reporting there. You can also think about things like other factors that might be impacting your margins. If you're a ventilation contractor, HVAC, or landscaper, you might be looking at things like sales and job completions, and wonder what the data might tell you if you took some outside data like weather and factored that into your reporting. So are there things that matter today and matter 3 days later or 2 weeks later? If your temperatures are extremely high, if humidity does a certain thing, if it's raining. So you have ability to take factors that are outside your core set of data and start to factor that into the equation to see if that's impacting what's going on. The other thing that I would add here is reporting. We often think about in terms of management reporting, and obviously that's a really important aspect for us. But the other thing I would encourage you to do is not lose sight of the motivation of your team. If you record data in such a way that it's not visible, it's not out on the bulletin boards or notepads or clipboards or things like that, it's easy for people to forget about it and to not understand how their actions are impacting that data. If, on the other hand, you can generate reports or have reports that they can look at on their own devices, whether it's a desktop or a mobile device, you'll find that there are data points that they're going to key into. As I mentioned a little bit earlier about the driving the Prius, it gave me the data points I needed to change my behavior and get the result I wanted. I wanted to drive 50 miles to the gallon. And you'll find that many of your teams will have the same kind of motivations, that if they have the data they need, then they can start recognizing how their behaviors, their activities impact those numbers, and they can start to make the choices that allow them to accomplish the goals that are in front of them. So it's a great way of engaging your people and getting them focused on the goals of the business and the goals of their team and their individual goals, and then seeing how they're doing. Let's talk for just a minute about a mobile app here. And maybe one of the easiest ways to talk about that is going to be thinking about a situation. We just had the 4th of July. And typical situation might be I'm out grilling hot dogs and having fun with the family. and I realized I didn't prepare and distribute the report for the managers meeting on the 5th of July. Does this sound familiar? Maybe it wasn't 4th of July, but I bet it was the weekend before, or you've had these experiences many times when your need is for data, your need is for distribution of information, and so on. So in this setting where I'm having fun with the family and I realize that that report is needed, how did this story end? The report was scheduled to auto run and distribute. So I had another hot dog and went swimming with the kids. It was that simple. These tools give you the ability not only to allow access to various reports by various people so they can go look at things when they want to, but also to elect maybe every Monday morning you want a certain report to generate and distribute through email to various people. You can set that up and take care of that in advance, and it will happen without your having to take action with it. And you can pull it up on your mobile app and on your mobile device and see what's going on, see what the numbers are yourself, and keep tabs on things. Let's check out a few customer reports here as we've talked about some of these things. The first one we're going to talk about is a simple quote, and it's it's a agreement, a contract, and I've taken the opportunity to just kind of redact phone numbers and personal information anywhere it appears on these things. So it's a little distracting visually, but it's going to make it so we can show these things and not worry about that. So you see all of this is generating as you set up your templates in the system, and then you're out and doing your business in terms of putting together quotes. You can move that from a quote to a contract that gets signed, and then you can actually move it to a work order, and then move it to an invoice, and you've done the job. So you've got all your pricing in here. And what that allows you to do when you take something like a contract like this is you can go into NetDispatcher, you can set it up in the software and then process it. And what that does is schedules that work out for the life of the contract. So if it's a 2-year contract, it's going to set up those jobs and so on. Then with your reporting, you can start to see things like, number one, you can see the contract itself that it put together for you in this case. You can also start to see things like all of the contracts that you have with quarterly maintenance, if it's ventilation, if it's landscaping, it might be seasonal color, it might be weekly mowings, it might be ice and snow removal. And all of that gets charted into your workloads, and you can start to see where you've got slow weeks, where you've got heavy weeks. Of course, all of those things are impacted by weather, but it lets you start to do some things that leverage your manpower better and allow you to really take advantage of all the resources in your business. The next one here is another customer that's leveraging the software, and this is a straightforward quote. Basically, they're able to go in. In this case, it's a straight time and material labor type pricing, and they can generate that very easily and get signatures, and you're off and running. Same thing here as we talked about on the past one, is you can then turn that quote into a work order and turn it into an invoice and get the bill paid. This is another one that's perhaps a little less straightforward than the last, and basically it's one that's allowing the person who's putting the quote together to put different dimensions and weights and so on into the equation, and they get something that comes out of that that's going to give them the measurement they need to get to a unit price and to charge that accordingly. And then it's putting in all the other information that would be their standard information and gives them a place to get the signature and the date and get moving on it. This is another example. A lot of folks have raised questions about the detail. Again, if you think about a lot of systems that require you use a standardized form that is leveraged then across all the different businesses, we can take your existing forms and use them to create the form that you're going to use electronically. Now, you may find as you go through a process that you want the form to be a little different because you want it to support the new electronic automated processes, not the older manual paper processes. So as you're designing forms, you'll always want to look for that element of support for the processes that you're putting into place. And I think in this case, this particular group has done a great job of designing what they need for their processes and putting that in place. And the software is certainly capable then of creating those fields and making them easy to do entry, whether you're at a desktop or a portable device. Another report that's utilized by this same company is one that's really interesting. It's a completion report. And as you think about the key performance indicators, one of the things that's obviously important is how are you doing on completing the activities that are scheduled and that are on your radar. So this is just an example of details that are accumulated as part of the business, part of the work orders that are being done, and then the ability to see that in a way that's very clear. You can see in this with sample data, in this particular case, you can see that at that moment in time, they have a 39% completion rate as it relates to the number of jobs that are coming in and the total number, and then the completed number, and that gives you this 39%. Very clear. As a technician, as anybody in the company, you can see that number, and then you can take the actions you need to make that needle move whichever direction you need it to move. One of the important things too, as you get into reporting, is to be able to define clearly what is the range you want it to be in. You don't have time to look at every detail every day and make decisions. But you definitely want to be able to address anything that's taking your business outside of the performance standard that you would expect. So it may be going higher or it may be going lower. And as long as it's in the range that you care about, you don't necessarily need to draw a lot of attention to it in most cases. But you do need to have an action plan in place so that you can take action when it goes outside of the expected range or the designed range. And this is the last report we'll look at for today. This report is just taking the conversion rate So in this case, you're seeing the date, the customer, the type of service, and the status. And then over here, you're seeing estimates and whether they're open, sent, or won. And at the bottom, they're simply drawing a few things that they're looking at, and that is how many appointments, how many estimates did they win, and what was that conversion percentage. So again, key data that we probably all calculate already, but it can be really challenging at times to calculate that ourselves with data that's a moving target, right? It's not like it just sits still and you look at the same report every day. So this allows you to take real data that's being gathered as a part of your business process, and it's not a separate effort. And then giving you the information in a way that you can digest it and utilize it. So where are the reports? For those that have NetDispatcher account set up, if you go into your account and on the far right, you'll see a tab that says reporting, and you select that tab, and you can go right in and you can start using the reports that were designed as a part of the setup for your paid account. There's also great links to training videos and information that you need so that you can start creating reports on your own also. And you'll find a lot of value coming out of the ad hoc reports that again let you dig in deeper and understand the data and be able to leverage that. If you don't have an account, that's no problem. You can go into NetDispatcher.com and you can sign up for a free trial. And we'd love to be able to demo the product for you and really tailor it to your business. And so don't let it stop you. If you don't have an account, check it out, please. I want to thank you for attending the webinar today on reporting tools. And I'll leave this screen up here as we end the session. You can visit us at go.netdispatcher.com. You can call us at the number listed here, or certainly email us. And we'd be happy to talk with you at any point and love to show off the reporting and help you see how it could really make a difference in your business. Thank you for joining us today. This is Kimo Turner with NetDispatcher, and this is the end of the session.